Imagine a tiny, perfectly quiet pond. For the small, timid fish living there, those shallow waters and familiar stones represent the entire world. It is safe because it's known. But that safety eventually shatters. A sudden rainstorm hits, water levels surge, and a powerful current pulls everything toward the unknown edge. Terrified, the fish thrashes. It swims with every ounce of its strength against the rushing water, exhausting itself just to stay in the exact same place. We often treat our comfort zones the same way. When life finally exerts enough pressure to move us, our first instinct is to fight the very forces trying to pull us towards something new. We experience this same panic during major life transitions, whether it's a career shift or a personal loss. We view the current of change as an enemy to be resisted. The psychological cost of this resistance is immense. We drain our energy holding on to outdated versions of ourselves, simply because the prospect of the river feels like a threat to our survival. True survival in these moments doesn't come from swimming harder. It starts by realizing the exhaustion is caused by the struggle itself, not the water. To navigate these waters without drowning in anxiety, we have to dismantle our fear of the unknown and look at the transition through a different lens. This shift begins by looking at obstacles differently. Instead of seeing a blockade as a detour, consider that it might actually be the path. There is a story of a king who placed a massive rock in the middle of a road to test his people. He wanted to see who would find a way through. While wealthy travelers complained and walked away, a humble farmer stopped. He put his shoulder to the stone and pushed with everything he had. When the rock finally rolled aside, the farmer found a pouch of gold coins hidden in the dirt beneath it. The king had left the reward specifically for the person who moved the obstacle. Change frequently arrives looking like a frustrating, immovable rock, but engaging with the challenge is often the only way to uncover the opportunity hidden underneath the struggle. Beyond reframing external blocks, the chaos of a transition also serves to strip away the limitations we have placed on ourselves. Consider a lion cub raised by a flock of sheep. It grew up grazing on grass and living in constant terror, believing it was just as weak and timid as the animals around it. During an attack, an old lion cornered the cub by a river. It forced the cub to look down at its reflection. In that moment, the cub saw its true nature. It let out a powerful roar and immediately shed the learned helplessness of the sheep. Sudden change acts like that river. It forces you from the flock, confronts your true capabilities, and breaks the false identity. The final difficulty is the timing. We tend to label uncomfortable changes as disasters because we are judging them while they are still unfolding. A villager named Mr. Adam once lost his only horse. His neighbors called it a tragedy, but Mr. Adam refused to judge the event so quickly. This timeline represents our perception. The lost horse is a red node. It returns with wild horses, but training them, the son breaks his leg, a catastrophic red setback. Yet when the army drafts men, the injury saves him, flipping the timeline to green. Maintaining peace requires acknowledging that your current perspective is incomplete. When you stop judging the present, you stop fighting the timeline of your own life. Returning to the little fish in the river, there is a moment where it finally stops fighting. It goes limp and allows the current to dictate its direction. The tumbling sensation is terrifying, but without the resistance, the fish begins to move with the water rather than against it. The exhaustion disappears. Suddenly, the narrow walls of the river fall away. The water calms and opens up into a boundless, vibrant ocean, a world far larger than anything the fish could have imagined back in its tiny pond. The scale of this new world reveals the truth. The pond wasn't a home to be protected. It was a limit to be transcended. The current of change carries you from the narrow limits of your comfort zone to the vast ocean of your true potential. All it requires is the courage to let